Stop paying $18 for a lavender plant you already own. That lavender in your yard right now is sitting on top of something the nursery has never once mentioned to you. One healthy mature plant can give you 20 new plants before this summer ends. 20 from one. For nothing but a $5 bag of perlite and 30 minutes of your time. The nursery charges $360 for those same 20 plants. They have known this was possible for decades. They are counting on you not knowing it. I'm going to walk you through the exact 6 steps that turn a single lavender plant into a hedge's worth of rooted cuttings, with exact measurements, exact timing, and the one decision that separates a cutting that roots from one that rots. That decision is step 4. Almost nobody talks about it. Almost everyone gets it wrong. Stay with me, because step 4 is the reason your past cuttings didn't make it. And once you see it clearly, you will never lose another one. Last summer, from 2 lavender plants in my back garden, I rooted 47 cuttings. At my local nursery's prices, $18 to $22 a pot. That's close to $900 worth of plants, from scissors and a $5 bag of perlite. My grandmother grew lavender on a property in rural Virginia and never bought a second plant in her life after the first one. She took a cutting, put it in grit, set it in the shade of the back porch, and waited. She called it making more from what the garden already gives you. I'll be straight with you. The first 3 years I tried this, I lost nearly every cutting. I had them in a warm windowsill. I was misting them every morning. I covered them with a plastic dome. Every cutting rotted. It wasn't until I understood what lavender actually is, where it comes from, what it absolutely cannot tolerate, that I understood why. Before the first cut, you need to know which stem you're looking for. The difference between a cutting that roots in 21 days and one that rots in 10 has nothing to do with what you do to it after. It has everything to do with which stem you chose before the blade touched anything. Here's what most people do. They find a stem that looks healthy and green and cut it. Flexible, alive looking. Bends without snapping. Also completely wrong for propagation. And here's why. Lavender stems exist on a spectrum. At one end, the very tips that pushed out in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Too young, no stored energy, no cell structure strong enough to survive the rooting process. They collapse before a root ever forms. At the other end, the old woody brown stems at the base of the plant, permanent structure. They do not root. Cut one and you have a dead stick. What you want is the middle. What growers call semi-hardwood, a stem that started this season as soft green growth and has since firmed up. It holds its shape when you bend it gently. The base is beginning to shift from bright green to pale gray-green. The tip is still actively growing. That transition zone, firm at the base, alive at the tip, is your cutting. The timing for this runs late spring through mid-summer. Zones 7 and 8 across the Mid-Atlantic and the South, late May through early July. Zones 5 and 6 in the Midwest and New England, late June through late July. Pacific Northwest Zones 8 and 9 have the widest window, late April through August. Look at the lower third of the plant's outer edge. That's where semi-hardwood concentrates. Find stems 4 to 6 inches long with that slight firmness beginning at the base. A wrong stem chosen here means the next 5 steps cannot save it. Now the cut. And this is where the second most common failure happens. Not wrong technique, but the wrong location on the stem. Lavender roots from the nodes, the joints along the stem where leaves attach. The cut needs to be made a 1/4 inch below a node. Not a 1/2 inch. A 1/4 inch. The closer you cut to the node, the more concentrated the plant's own rooting compounds are at the wound. Move further from the node, and those compounds disperse. The stem looks healthy. It simply never roots. Use clean, sharp scissors or bypass pruners, wiped with 70% isopropyl alcohol. Count down from the tip to the 3rd or 4th node, That gives you a cutting 3 to 5 inches long. Cut at a 45-degree angle, not straight across. The angled cut expands the surface area where roots will emerge and lets water run off the wound instead of pooling on it. 3 to 5 inches, no shorter, no longer. Before the cutting goes anywhere, strip the leaves. Every leaf on that stem is a liability right now. Leaves transpire. They push moisture out through tiny pores. In a plant with roots, that moisture gets replaced from the soil. In a cutting with no roots, there is no replacement. Too many leaves and the cutting desiccates before a root ever forms. The top third stays on. Those leaves are photosynthesizing, making the sugars that drive root formation. Strip the top and the cutting has no engine. The rule: remove every leaf from the bottom 2/3 on a 4-inch cutting. That means everything below the top 1.5 inches. Strip by pulling gently downward, not sideways, which tears the bark. Downward, cleanly at the node. What you have now, bare lower stem, 2 to 4 small leaves at the tip, ready for step 4. Stop here. This is the step I mentioned at the start, the one where 80% of lavender cuttings are already dead before they hit the ground. Lavender does not come from a humid rainforest. It does not come from a rich garden bed. It comes from rocky Mediterranean hillsides where the soil is essentially crushed limestone and gravel, where water drains in seconds, and where roots breathe far more than they drink. Every guide that tells you to root lavender cuttings in potting mix, seed starting mix, or garden soil is applying tropical plant logic to a desert plant. The cutting sits in that moisture-retaining mix, the wound stays wet, and it rots, not from disease, from kindness. The substrate for lavender cuttings is pure coarse perlite, not a blend, pure perlite. It holds almost no moisture, it drains in seconds. It keeps the wound dry while still giving the cutting physical structure to stand upright. The cutting doesn't need nutrition to root. It carries its own stored energy. What it needs is air at the wound site. A $5 bag of horticultural perlite at any Home Depot or Lowe's holds enough substrate for 50 cuttings. No perlite? Coarse builder's sand, not fine play sand, drains fast enough to work. Fill a 4-inch terracotta pot with dry perlite. Never plastic. Terracotta breathes. Moisture passes through the clay walls and escapes. A plastic pot traps moisture at the bottom, even when the surface looks dry. And that pooling is where lavender cuttings rot from the bottom up. You won't see it until day 14 when you pull the cutting and the bottom half of the stem has gone black. Make a hole with a pencil, about 1.5 inches deep, in the center of the perlite. Do not push the cutting directly into the perlite. Direct pressure scrapes off the thin callus forming at the wound site. And that callus is exactly where roots emerge. Insert the bare lower stem into the pencil hole. Press the perlite gently around the stem so it stands without support. Water lightly once to settle the perlite around the stem. That is the only watering until you see new leaf growth. Now light and humidity. And here lavender contradicts every other cutting you've ever propagated. Standard advice says cover your cuttings with a plastic bag or dome to hold humidity. For tropical plants, that's right. For lavender, it will kill the cutting inside a week. A sealed dome creates the exact warm, stagnant, wet microclimate that gray mold needs to move in and destroy the stem before a root ever forms. Lavender wants moving air. Do not cover it. Place the pot in bright indirect light. Not direct sun. Afternoon sun desiccates the cutting faster than any disease. A north or east-facing windowsill. Dappled shade outdoors. 3 to 4 hours of indirect light per day is enough. Temperature between 65 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Mist the leaves, just the leaves, not the perlite, once every 2 days. Not every day, every 2 days. The timeline from here demands patience more than anything else. The first week, the cutting looks unchanged. The leaves may droop slightly on day 2 or 3. This is normal. It's adjusting to life without roots. Do not water more. Do not move it. The second week, the droop recovers. Beneath the perlite, callus tissue is forming at the wound. You cannot see this yet. Do not check. Every time you lift the cutting to look, you tear the fragile root initials just beginning to extend. They break before you can see them, and the cutting has to start over. Week 3. Wait. The temptation to check is real. Resist it the same way you resisted it in week 2. The roots forming right now are doing exactly what they are supposed to do. In the dark, in the dry, without your help. Week 4. Grip the stem with 2 fingers and apply light upward pressure. If you feel any resistance, roots have formed. If it lifts free with no tension, put it back and wait 7 more days. Pull the cutting gently from the perlite. What you want to see: several fine white threads, each at least a 1/4 inch long, emerging from the nodes along the bare lower stem. Thin, white, alive in a way that word doesn't quite prepare you for. Those roots have never touched real soil. They formed in pure air with only perlite for structure. They are fragile in a way no nursery plant root ever is. The transplant mix is not potting mix straight from the bag, too rich, retains too much moisture. Mix 2 parts potting mix with 1 part coarse perlite. That ratio gives the root structure to anchor while still letting the soil breathe. Move into a 4-inch pot, not into the ground. Water once at transplant until it drains from the bottom. Then do not water again until the top 2 inches are completely dry. Leave it there for 3 to 4 weeks. When new growth pushes from the tip, small, bright green, fresh, that is the signal the roots have established. At that point, what you're holding is no longer a cutting. It is a plant you made, ready for the ground. A mature lavender plant 3 seasons old or older can support 20 to 30 cuttings in a single summer without harm to the parent. It pushes new growth at every cut site within 2 weeks. A second round of semi-hardwood is available from those new shoots by early September. One plant, worked with intention, over 1 growing season, 50 to 60 rooted cuttings at $18 to $22 a nursery pot. That is $1,100. From scissors. From 1 plant you already owned. From $5 of perlite. Stem, root, plant. Nothing else required. Your grandmother knew this. It didn't go anywhere. Someone just needed to hand it back to you. Drop a comment and tell me which step you've been getting wrong. Because if your past cuttings rotted and you never knew why, the answer is almost always step 4. And I want to know which part of it caught you. If this video saved your next lavender plant, subscribe. YouTube only shows these to people it recognizes as regular viewers, and 1 click changes that. And if it was useful, leave a like. That's how this kind of content keeps reaching the people who need it most.